All right. So we wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, and we thank God for giving us this opportunity to talk about the essence of Thanksgiving. And today we are so fortunate to be with our dear mother and our dear brother who are so knowledgeable to share with us what the essence of us celebrating Thanksgiving. So I would like to take this opportunity to introduce our first speaker, who is in the person of Mrs. Liz O'Kine. She has a master's degree in social work from the University of Toronto, and she also have 15 years of professional child welfare experience. She's passionate about growing body of knowledge involving intersectionality of child welfare and immigration status. For the past 10 years, Sister Liz has been leading team of children welfare professionals with specialized knowledge in immigration at Region Children's Aid Society to build and strengthen partnership uh, with various stakeholders across different levels of government. um, their stakeholders include the Canada Border Service agencies, Immigration Refugees, Citizenship Canada, Immigration and Refugee Board, Global Affair Canada, and supported through the process. She has been invited to speak at national and international conferences, with the most recent one being the Canadian Council of Refugees annual consultation. Sister Liz is married with two children, and she's so effective, involved in church activities and community. Like she has so much passion for also youth work within our Methodist Church, Ghana, which is the Toronto circuit, and she's also a vibrant a SUMA member. Those of us that are Methodists, we all know Susanna Wesley, a mission auxiliary. She holds a position at the diocesan level as an assistant secretary. She was our past circuit president. So with all this that she's involved, you and I can believe and also know that her passion for making sure children and also refugees are being treated in the same way that everybody, so everyone that have the same opportunity. So with much I said, we welcome our dear sister, Sister Liz O'Krine. Also, we are so fortunate to have our own, and when I say our own, she's an amazing brother. He's just amazing. He's no other person than our own brother, Dr. Ebenezer Kofi. Is a sustainability engineer with a particular interest in food system. He's currently the manager of International Food System Development Project at Bioresource Engineering Department of the McDonald campus of McGill University, which is in Montreal. He has a PhD in bioresource engineering and teaches and focuses his research on food system sustainability. Outside his research, he served as a church organist for the Methodist Church Ghana Montreal Society, and also he is a deputy director of music for the Toronto Circuit of the Methodist Church Ghana North American Mission Diocese. Dr. Kofi has a passion for youth work, and he's also availed himself to be a mentor and a trainer for young people for both the McGill campus and also within the Ghanaian community in Montreal and outside Montreal. He has he's been a speaker for many youth conferences that has been held within the North American Mission Diocese, and also youth conferences that we've been doing. He has so much passion. He's our current education and youth chair for the Toronto circuit, and I'm so like his leadership is so amazing that he understands what it means to be a youth and what he can also give to us as young people. So today, as we talk about the essence of Thanksgiving, we have the right people on board, and they are going to share with us some of amazing and great things that they know. What when we say Thanksgiving, what does it mean to us as Christians, and what does it mean to us as Canadian? as today we embark on celebrating Thanksgiving, which is a national holiday for Canada. So we get the ball rolling. We get the ball rolling. So with that, we will start with our dear Sister Liz. With we want to hear from you. What is Canadian Thanksgiving? Just give us a brief history and which is the origin about what it means to us as Canadian when we say we are celebrating Canadian Thanksgiving.
Mhm. Thank you so much, Mr. Joe. Thank you. So, Canadian Thanksgiving, I'll just give a brief history. I'm not going to bore you. I'm sure we'll answer more interesting questions. It dates back as far as the 1500s. Um, the first record available of Canadian Thanksgiving is in 1587. That's the first recorded instance where there was a Thanksgiving. The people in 1859, just before it was recorded, the people petitioned the colonial government to let them celebrate a thanksgiving to God because God has been good to them, and that the bountiful harvest, shows that there is a God that exists. So they asked for that, and then in 18, fast forward to 1587 is when there's an actual record of celebration. Then fast forward to 1872, that was the first celebration of Thanksgiving after Confederation. That's on record, the first celebration. And this one was it was celebrated for the recovery of the Prince of Wales. Remember, we were under colonial rule. So the Prince of Wales was seriously ill. And when he recovered, there was a celebration in Canada. This Prince of Wales later became Prince Edward VII. So, and then what happened was it was celebrated, but it was on a week. It was in the middle of the week, like a Wednesday, and so it wasn't very popular. But it was a holy event where people went to church one day and just prayed, and it was solemn. But fast forward to 1957, January 31st, the Governor General at the time made a proclamation meaning that it became law. He asked that a day of general thanksgiving to the Almighty for the bountiful harvest which Canada has received. And this day was to be celebrated on the second Monday in November. And so if you look back, this is why we're celebrating for a bountiful harvest. So it was originally sort of a religious, and actually in the proclamation, it says, thanksgiving to the Almighty God for the bountiful harvest that Canada has received and continues to receive. So that was the proclamation. It became law, and it was the 2nd of November, and up till now, we're celebrating Thanksgiving.
Wow. Wow. That is very historic. Very historic. So for those of us that do not know, at least this gives us a glimpse of what it means for Canadians to celebrate Thanksgiving. So Dr. Kofi, do you have anything to talk about, like something to add to what our sister has said?
Well, I think that the history behind it is what she's already given. But as we move along, we would add some more information to bring out the essence for us
Yes.
now in the now.
All right. Thank you. So then we move forward to us. Why is it what is it a national holiday for us, Dr. Kofi? Why is it a national
Okay.
holiday for us? I know she already touched base with on the origin and a bit history about, but why is it a national holiday for us as Canadians?
Okay. Thank you. So let me probably add a little to what Sister Lee said. So it was recognized, okay, it was recognized that there was the need to show appreciation. And I, we disagree on a lot of things as a people, but then the importance of gratitude is one of the few things that we all agree on. I mean, consider parents teaching their kids to say thank you. You have people receiving award when they serve in some capacity. So the issue or the relevance of Thanksgiving is recognized across board, at homes, at work, and nationally it is recognized. And so to place more value on the this recognition, it was considered appropriate to have it as a holiday. Now, besides, the idea that that whole idea of giving thanks or the act of showing appreciation, it's recognized as a collective action, and so it's important that people come together in order to express this appreciation to God and to people in their life. So it is well celebrated when people are off work, when people are together. And so I believe that part of the reason why it's given as a holiday is to ensure that we do this act of appreciation as a unit, as a collective a body, as a family, as a nation, doing the same thing. So that would be part of that would be my reason why I think it's celebrated nationally.
Okay, so it is very important that Canadian pay attention to this particular day. Okay, that's very good. So, Sister Liz, is there anything you want to add to what our brother?
So that we are sort of forced to pause and to count our blessings and to give thanks to the Almighty. We leave it as we know the hustle of life. If it was just left like that, people would just move on. So it became so to the state level to just have everything pause so that we can count our blessings and give thanks to the Almighty, which is I think very interesting and great.
All right, thank you, thank you. So, with that, in addition to that, then I come to you, Sister Liz. When and
Okay.
how has Thanksgiving been observed in Canada?
Okay. So, like I said, in the history, in the past, way past, you know, it was a religious. Was in the middle of one. It became on a Monday, so long weekend, and so we celebrated on the second Monday of November every year. Second Monday, regardless of what date it falls, it's a second Monday, and it's a stat holiday, meaning that most people who work for the most people, in fact, a lot of people, except for essential workers such as our nurses, some of them go to work, but it's just a standstill. What happens is it's for mostly what it has become. Okay, so Monday is not a church going day, but what it has become is a sort of, it's a reunion. Families get together, we eat a lot, and then we sort of deliberate on things, um, and relax. Some people take advantage, watching ball. But yes, so that is how it's being observed. We eat turkey. I'm going to say the food is the most important. When you say Thanksgiving, you're thinking turkey. You're thinking turkey, you're thinking potatoes, you're thinking gravy, you're thinking, yeah, ham, and all the pumpkin pies, and you see pumpkin all over the place because it's part of the harvest that we talk about. So it's a lot of food, and yes, it should be about food. But as we get into it, we'll talk more about the essence. But the way that is celebrated, as we see, especially the diasporans that came here, the way that we see it, if you don't take care and you don't realize the essence, you would just get swallowed in it, into the commercialization and it's just a holiday for people to get together and eat. Mostly you don't hear people in the secular in the secular world, talking about, let's take a pause and really be thankful, to God. Yes, we can. And as we go along, we'll talk about, how else can you be thankful? Yes, you can be thankful to the Almighty, but there are other people that you can be thankful to as well. So I'll leave it there. This is the way we spend it. How and when is what I've given you.
Oh, great, great. Okay, so I'm coming to your house for the turkey and potato.
Yes, I have a big one. Afterwards, you're welcome. And I know you don't live too far from me, so
Yeah,
you're
not at
welcome.
all. Oh, doctor, I'm sorry. You live very far from us, so I don't think that would be a good time. All right. So, doctor, do you want to add anything or?
Yeah, well, I think that just to add that the how um, is very important, because beyond the food, it is the getting together. Okay, that brings more benefit in celebrating the the Thanksgiving. And so for most people, they enjoy the food, but the fact that they are able to travel around just to see family, for them, it's a huge part of the celebration of Thanksgiving.
Okay, that is very great. So we talk about the origin, we talk about the history, we talk about why is it a national holiday. We've also kind of highlight when and how we celebrate or we observe Thanksgiving. So the message is, what is the message about Thanksgiving, Dr. Kofi? What is the message about Thanksgiving?
Okay, so I think that the message of Thanksgiving is actually reflected in the name. If you just listen to the name, Thanksgiving, what it means is that it is a time where we show appreciation. It is a time where we give thanks. And I like the way Sister Liz put it in the proclamation, that it is our thankfulness to God. Okay, it's expressing appreciation or gratitude to God. Now, what it means is that we recognize the fact that the many things we have received actually came from God. So when I hear of that, I'm quite impressed that even those times they recognize that things don't happen like that. That the blessings we receive in terms of harvest, in terms of a job, in terms of security, in terms of our safety, all of them don't happen by chance. But there is a God who enable us to enjoy those things. And so the message of Thanksgiving must be to show appreciation, to say thank you to somebody, to say thank you to God, to say thank you for the people in your life. Because I mean, think of it. When you have kids and you give them something, you are expecting them to say thank you. Okay, it's been part of our culture, and so it becomes awkward when we expect children to say thank you when we give them stuff, but we don't consider that as that important, that when we also receive stuff from people or from God, there is the need to say thank you. So I think that summing it up, when we celebrate Thanksgiving, our key message, what should happen in that whole process, is a repeated thank you, a repetition of the word thank you to all the people, even the people who have caused trouble in your life. I think you owe them some thank you because they made you better. Yeah,
Wow, wow. So the name, which means the name itself gives you the message, right? The name
exactly.
itself gives you the message that you have to be appreciative to people that you think they've been an inspiration to you. They've kind of brought some light into your life. They've been an impact into your life, your career, and you just have to say thank you. Wow, wow. All right, so Sister Liz, is there something you
Yes.
hiding that you want to add to it?
Oh, Doc said it all. I was thinking, today even, I said, you know what, even as human beings, like me, when I send money to someone in Ghana and you don't call me the following morning, I really get upset. And when you call me again, you know what I'm gonna you know what so even as human beings, the little things that we do, you know we expect to be thanked. And so sometimes we forget to thank God for big things and small things, especially this year. And so I agree with Doc that, you know what, the message is to, really take a pause. And even though we say thank you every day, when we come to pray, the first thing we do is we praise God. Some 104 says, enter his name to thanksgiving, and it's always start with prayer, with praise and thanksgiving. However, this holiday gives us a chance to really ponder. We look back and take account, and really count our blessings, small and big. And so it just gives us that ability. And so I think I agree with Doc, whatever she said. Right.
Right, right. So I think when I was thinking about even today being a national holiday, I was kind of I drew my mind back to way in November last year when we started talking about COVID. And I was like, oh wow, we never thought that COVID will come this way. So
Hmm.
if our lives has been saved, like we were not affected, like we go to work, we come, our families are safe. There's so much that we can say. There's so much that we can even tell God that we don't have words to describe it, right? So I was thinking about it. I'm like, oh wow, we need to give God the thanks. Like there's so much that He has done for us that if He asks us to pay, I don't think we have the money to pay for that. So all that we will have to say is like, thank you, God. Wow. So that was
Yes.
very powerful. The message itself is very, very unique and very essential.
Hmm.
So our follow-up question will be with having the turkey and with having the potato and all the syrup and all that, is there any special preparation that we do as Canadian? Is there any special preparation that we do towards the Thanksgiving?
Um, yes, yes, we do all this shopping for the cooking, but more than that, more than that, in little pockets that I've seen that at work, I've seen that in my family. Just before, sometimes you do that during the dinner itself, the Thanksgiving lunch, whatever you call it. You know what? We've gone around and we've asked, at the table or even at a team meeting at work just before Thanksgiving, we broke for this holiday, that last Friday, the Wednesday. I went asking my team, what are you grateful for? I'm not making this religious, but when you hear every single person said, I am grateful that I'm alive. I am grateful for my family. I am grateful that I have a job. How many people lost their jobs or were told to go home during this pandemic? But some of us have been blessed. With some of us, if we got the 2,000 that people got in Canada, and we're even blessed for that, but with some of us, it might not be enough for our budgets. So for us to continue to have our jobs, we are so grateful and we're thankful more than any year. I think that God continues to, work miracles in our lives, small and big. But this particular year, if you don't have any reason to thank God, and I thank God that, as we prepare, for me as a Methodist, and and the fact that our Thanksgiving annual harvest is around the same time. Okay, we had ours yesterday. Ghana Methodist Church of Toronto. So I was thinking, my husband and I, as we were going to church, even before the Thanksgiving, we were thinking about all what God has done for us. And we said, we can't even pay God, but what can we take that really, really, that we feel that you've taken? Not your bad crops, not your rotten crops, know that the monies that won't touch your heart or won't pull at your heartstrings, but you do your best, as in the Bible days when you go to do sacrifice to the Lord on an annual sacrifice, you bring your best. And so that's what we try to do. And I'm hoping that with this, our young people and people coming, it's not just about food. And as Doc said about the togetherness, the gathering and the reunions. But what conversations are we having at those reunions? Before we take the meal, what kind of prayer are we saying? That's the essence of Thanksgiving. We have to really look back and count. You don't have to look back and you don't have to think hard to see what God has done for you. And so for me, did I answer your question? That's the
Yes, yes.
special preparation. As for cooking, even as we were making the turkey yesterday, I was having a chat with my kids. What are you grateful for? What are you grateful for? And even little children know that, mommy, they watch, they're not little anymore. I mean, university, but they're watching TV and they know what's been going on in this world. And if we have come out unscathed at this time, I mean, we have to be thankful. We have to be grateful more so than any other year.
Wow, wow. I am grateful for God saving my life from this pandemic. That is very unique. Dr. Kofi, do you want to add up?
Well, I think she said it. So let's move on.
Okay, so we move on to our next question: why we celebrate? And this is a general question. Why we celebrate Thanksgiving? So any
Okay.
one of
Okay,
you
Doc,
can go first.
Doc can go. I just spoke, so.
Okay. For me, I think this is a very relevant. This is the core of what we're doing today. If you don't understand, if you cannot find a reason to say thank you, then I'm not sure what is happening. Because you see, this is the thing. Life has not and will never be linear. Okay, there is always going to be the good, there's always going to be the bad, there's always going to be the ugly, and they come one at a time. Sometimes you enjoy the good time, and then suddenly you get a bad time and something really ugly comes up. And but all of it, if you sum all of it together, there is almost always a net positive reason to be appreciative. Okay. um I think that the why or the reason to be thankful is always attached to the perception. It's a matter of choice. If you decide to see the glass as half empty, then you struggle to find a reason to be thankful. For those who find the glass to be half full, they are always grateful that at least there is something in the glass. There is this favorite quote that I love from Alphonse Carr, and this is what he says. He says that you can complain because the rose bushes have thorns, okay, but you can also rejoice that the thorns actually have roses. So it's a matter of your perception, what you see, because what you see determines what your response to be. And so if you see the roses as having tongues, and so it's uncomfortable, then you're going to react in that way. But if you see the tongues as having roses in them, you are appreciative of it. Now, what am I saying? I'm saying that there is always a reason in our life to be grateful. I remember when I was preparing to get married, one of my the people I always run to when I'm in trouble, one of them told me, your wife is not obliged to cook for you. So when you get up in the morning and for some reason you get food on your table, or you go to work and come back and you're fortunate enough to have food on your table, you have to be grateful because that woman is not obliged to cook for you. So if she does, say thank you. And that thing stuck with me, that the things that we take for granted in our lives, sometimes we don't even deserve them, okay? But because they happen without any effort from us, they happen because God has allowed it to happen. It's so easy to take them for granted. You see, you never realize how painful it is to be sick, or you never realize the essence of having a healthy life until you have some toothache that is so bothering you and you can do anything. At that point, when you come out, you begin to appreciate the good things in your life. You begin to appreciate having a good health. So in the same way, let me say that even if you're going into you have trouble now, for those of our friends and our family members who would have to deal with COVID, okay, I want to say that even within the COVID, it is possible to find a reason to be grateful. Even in the midst of all your troubles, it is possible to be appreciative. Let me let me share this story. I I I had a student who I thought was a bad student, okay, and was always making me how to reread things and go through a lot of things. But after a few weeks or months with him, I realized that I actually became better because of him, because he made me go look up stuff that I didn't know, and then at the end I benefited from him not being meeting my expectation. At the end, he became better, I became better, and so when he finished, he came to say thank you. But then I kind of told him back that, you know what, you know who benefited in our transaction? It was me, because you have made me a better person than I was. So the point I'm making is that sometime in the midst of our troubles, okay, in the midst of our difficulties, there is something that is making us better, and even for that, we ought to be appreciative. We ought to say thank you. uh, just recently, I was watching a video of this American comedian, Tiffany Haddish. And this is what I took from that video. She said she was on national television, saying thank you to all the people who bullied her when she was young, because she said that it was that made her find comfort in comedy, and today she makes a living out of it. So she was on national television saying that, oh, thank you guys for bullying me. You made me a better person. So we should always try to look at the bright side of life, look through the experiences we have, and I can assure you, you will always find a reason to be appreciative, not only to God, but to the very people who are in your life.
All right. Thank you. Sister Liz.
Yes, so generally, what Doc said is all things work together for good, them that love the Lord. And so, yes, there's always, there will always a light at the end of the tunnel. So let's be hopeful. And for those of us, I mean, terrible things. We're sitting here, terrible people are going through terrible things. People have lost people. Some people are going through, serious illnesses. And so for them, even to be thankful can be difficult. But if they look back, you know, there was the many, many times they drove through the storm and didn't get into an accident. Many, many times when their children left home, went out and came back home. Others just walk on the side of the road and they are killed. So unless something has really happened to you, like Doc said, it is difficult to see the other side. But I so much, during Thanksgiving like this and go through the year. And even if you know things that have happened to other people, right? I mean, it's not so nice to look at others and say, because this didn't happen to me, God loves me more. But you can compare. If you can't find anything, just look at Kofi Kinata's song. What does he say? Um, I would you're crying about your situation. Look at other people. You're crying you don't have a car. The person who doesn't have legs, and what do? You can walk. So I mean, even if you have to go look back like that and look at the small things, there are big things, but if you can't see them or it's not happening to you right now, look at the small things. The air that you breathe, are you able to pay for it? We as Christians believe that it is from the Almighty. And so as long as we're breathing and as long as we're alive, there is hope, and we need to be still thankful. He said, in all things, we should be thankful to him. And so, yes, we need to
All
celebrate
right.
it. When Thanksgiving comes, let's use it as an opportunity to celebrate.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Kofi and Sister Liz. So before we take a short break, for those of us that join us in the middle of our discussion, we have our dear sister Liz Okan and also our dear brother Dr. Ebenezer Kofi. And we are talking about Thanksgiving. What has God done for you? What is Thanksgiving to you? What does it mean to you? So think about it. If you join us late, think about it. What Thanksgiving means to you? What do you have to tell God? What do you have to tell people that has brought an impact into your life? People that has make a change into your life. So before we take a break, we will just think about the few things that we want to say to people that have brought an impact to our life, the few things that we want to tell our friends and family, our daddies and uncles, to say thank you. What one word can you give to a family or a friend, or can you tell a family or friend that means to that individual you appreciate anything that they've done in your life. You appreciate any impact that they brought into your life. So we take a short break and we'll be back. Please do not leave. Join us. If you are joining us on Facebook, if you are on YouTube, you can subscribe, you can like, you can share the page so that the message will be shared to everyone across the nation. again, we welcome everyone joining us on the topic that is very special, that's very unique, the essence of Thanksgiving. Today we celebrate um, a national holiday in Canada. It's the Thanksgiving Day, and we are here to say how grateful we are. We are here to tell God how we appreciate the things that He has done for us, most especially throughout this pandemic. God has been gracious to us. So we have here with us our guest speaker, Sister Liz Okran, and we also have Dr. Ebenezer Kobe, who we are so fortunate to share their ideas with us, the essence of Thanksgiving. So we get the ball rolling by saying that what is so special about celebrating Thanksgiving? Sister Liz, what is so special? I know we talked earlier on, we talk about the history, we talk about why is it a national holiday for us as Canadian. We've also talked about how and when we celebrate. We talk about the preparation that we made towards this special day. So, what is it so special?
Yes. So um, I sound like a broken record. What is special about, because I'm going to be repeating myself. What is
Yes,
special
that's
about Thanksgiving is gratitude. The middle name of Thanksgiving really is gratitude. Showing gratitude, just showing gratitude and being, humble to know that it is not by might, it is by power, nor any knowledge or any beauty, but it is by the grace and favor of God alone that we're here. Hitherto, Ebenezer. We're here because of where He has brought us, how far He has brought us, and we're thankful and grateful. And we have to remember that even in the proclamation that was made, the law that was passed in Canada in 1957, after all the historical celebrations, the one that became law said that a day to be set aside to celebrate and to celebrate thanksgiving to the Almighty God. So first and foremost, the special thing about Thanksgiving is to thank God for the bountiful harvest. General, what else are you harvesting in your life? Okay, what else have you harvested? Have you harvested? Have you harvested? Have you harvested good kids? Have you harvested children? Have you harvested a blessing from your parents? Whatever it is that we have harvested, it's a general Thanksgiving. And more, I want to add another thing. It's not where do we see God? We know God exists and we thank Him every day. And we take this day to also thank Him, but more so we're thanking others, thanking our neighbors, thanking our friends, the person who took your resume and passed it on, who has now, contributed or impacted where you are in your career. The person who just even looked over your PhD dissertation, who made some edits for you. The person who gave you advice about what course of action to take, the person who held your hand when you an immigrant as a refugee. I mean, all those people who have helped you along the way. There are people who have made impacts in your life. Some were only yesterday and some were a long time ago. And so I think this is a time, and you don't have to go give them any gifts, because I used to say there was a man who helped me a lot when I came to this country. Okay, a Ghanaian older man right now, he's not feeling too well. And I've always told my husband that the day I win the lottery, I will go and thank him. He told me, "You've been waiting for too long. You have you have not won the lottery. Why don't you go thank him, whatever you have?" Because I felt like I need to thank him big time. But said you can thank him. And now with social media, you can send messages. You can make phone calls before and on the day, just expressing. So I think that what is so special is the chance to once again pause. Every day we go about, we say a few things, but this is a day that has been set aside in Canada nationally. So why don't we use it? to make the most out of it. So,
Thank you. Thank you. Any contribution from Dr. Kofi?
Yeah, let me add this. I like that answer. So let me add what. See, if you recognize that your life could have been worse than it is right now, you have that is enough, okay, to make this Thanksgiving special. Okay, irrespective of where you are in your life, if you can acknowledge the fact that just one little thing could have made your life more messier than it is right now, then I think that you should be celebrating like crazy. Okay. Besides, I don't know how many of the holidays we have in Canada that actually acknowledges that there is a God who is granting blessings to us, and so we need to appreciate that God. So for me, it makes this actual holiday a very special one. If you look at all the other holidays, Labor Day, Republic Day, all of that, it is only this one that has in the law that guarantees this holiday that says that we have to say thank you to the Almighty God. It is only this one. So for me, that makes this holiday so special because you know what? There are people, I'm sure we all have different stories, but there are some people in your life who give you just one tiny piece of advice. I mean, sometimes they say it in passing, but it is that one thing that almost changed the direction of your life. I mean, I have people like that in my life who kind of angrily told me something. I guess I was messing up, and then they angrily told me something. But after some time, when I thought of it and realized that maybe I should give it a try, and it is those things that were not so pleasant at the time when they said it. It is those little things that kind of have made my life the trajectory it is on right now. For example, if I consider coming here to Canada to do a PhD, okay, it was one phone call from somebody that brought me here. Okay, so it is when we begin to realize that it is some people's actions and inaction that has brought us all the blessings we have had. God has used them as the channel to bring us those blessings. Then you would actually see that the Thanksgiving holiday is so special. You should celebrate it in grand style. Okay, all
All
right.
right. Thank you. Thank you. So let's down. Okay, Dr. Kofi. Then my follow-up question will be: I know in the beginning we've talked about Thanksgiving in a general perspective or general. We've made it more general. So now we come to how can a Christian celebrate this? How can a Christian celebrate this?
Okay, thank you. You know, for me, when I think about the question you're asking, I think that for us being Christians, we should be doing this every day. Okay, we should be celebrating this Thanksgiving every day because for a number of reasons. Okay, number one, having an attitude of gratitude is almost a requirement in Christianity. Okay, because it is an appreciation to God for His daily blessing. Look at it when we say the Lord's Prayer, we are always saying, "Give us our daily bread." And for some reason, we get food to eat every day. I'm sure you had a wonderful breakfast. You're actually waiting for your turkey. Something is going to happen this evening, or maybe it did happen yesterday. But once we keep saying, God, give us our daily bread. Once we get up every morning and we are looking forward to God's protection as we journey through the day, I think we should be doing this more regularly. We should be thanking God on a daily basis. There is this quote from this gentleman called Howis. Now he says that if you concentrate on what you have, you will always have more, and you have a reason to thank God. But if you concentrate on what you don't have, you would never have enough, and you would always see yourself worse than the other people. And so it comes with the ingratitude always has a sibling called bitterness,
Yeah.
because it makes you bitter. It makes you think that you are worse off. Okay, so I think that for us as Christians, okay, there is enough reason for us to thank God, and I want to highlight on three of them. The first one is that because thanking God honors Him. Okay, if we are grateful to God and recognize that God exists, then we are connecting our lives, our real existence. We are connecting it to God as the source, and so we would have a reason to be thankful to Him. In fact, I think that true thankfulness is the one that recognizes a total dependence on God, okay, and one that kind of stems out from our lives in saying that, okay, God controls our lives, and so we ought to be appreciative for how far He brought us. The second reason is that I think we ought to celebrate Thanksgiving on a daily basis because Scripture commands us to do so. Now, I think Sister Lee already mentioned that if you look at Psalm 100, it says, "Enter His gate with thanksgiving and His court with praise." What does it mean? It means that give God thanks. And if you look at what Paul wrote to the Thessalonians in First Thessalonians 5:18, he says that in everything give thanks to God because that is the will of God for you. That is the will of God for you. So I think that for us as Christians, we ought to give God thanks every day. Every day probably might not be perfect, but when we focus on what we have, what God has made us to be, we would give thanks to God. Now, I have some few recommendations as we are celebrating Thanksgiving. I think that right now, if anybody is listening to me, you should express thanks to the people in your life today. Don't wait for another day. Don't wait to do it in a grand style, but just show appreciation. Because sometimes it's not in the gift, okay? Sometimes it is not in the gift, it is in the act, okay? It is in the act. I'm not sure God expects us to buy stuff and give Him, but it is the act, the sincerity of our heart in showing gratitude to God. That is what is important. So if you give yourself an excuse, oh, that I don't have money, and so I cannot participate in some Thanksgiving going on in church, well, that's a good excuse, but it's a failure. Okay, it is that act of showing appreciation that is what is more important. It is the essence of the act which is more important. So I want to suggest that if you're a Christian, even if you're not a Christian, okay, examine your life, examine your career, examine your education, examine the very things you've gone through and begin to identify the people who have contributed. Okay? Because just showing appreciation to God and being ungrateful to the people who have supported you is no Christianity. I don't think so. I don't think so. So in as much as we want to show appreciation to God, my recommendation is that search through your own life, begin to write people's name down and give them a phone call. Just a phone call, a text message, some WhatsApp, just to say thank you. Let them know that you appreciate it. Let them know you appreciate it. My other recommendation is that some people actually do have a Thanksgiving journal. Okay, so every day they tend to record what they are grateful for in their life. They tend to record. If you can do that, that's great. But even if you can do it, okay, the fact that you tell yourself, the fact that you admit to yourself that, oh, I have been so fortunate to receive this. That alone is enough. That alone is enough. So, anybody hearing me today, go look for those people who you owe some thank you and do that, because in it is the blessings of God. When God sees us appreciating what He does for us and appreciating the people in our lives, He is pleased with us. So, that's what I'll say. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow, that is a great insight. Wow. So now I have to go through my contacts, my journals to make sure that I appreciate or call anybody that has been a great impact into my life to say a big thank you. I also coming in the perspective as a Christian that we always have to say thank you to people that has made a change in our life. The little advice that was given to you should be appreciated. Wow, that is very great, Doctor. Thank you. So I know you kind of highlight a bit on the focus. So I'll ask Sister Liz. In addition to some of the few things that mentioned on the focus of Thanksgiving, what should be our focus as Christians? When
Okay.
we say Thanksgiving, what
All
should
right.
be our focus?
Yes. So Doug has said a lot, and as we went along, we've said a lot, both of us, about what the focus should be. And I just want to, by saying that, I want to make a comparison or just draw attention to what the focus has been on, where it shouldn't be, so we remember to reshape it. Even when I was doing a little bit of research about, Thanksgiving, and I saw that the Governor General, his name was Vincent Massey at the time, 1957, and interestingly, that was the year of, I believe, Ghana's independence.
Yeah.
Is it? Yes, yes. But
Yeah.
this wasn't 6th March. This was January 31st when he made that law. I'm like, wow. So yes, we do say thank you and we're thankful, but this was the law that it was to thank the Almighty God. So let's bring back the focus. Let's put gratitude back into thanking God first. Okay. And as every other festivities or celebrations, such as Christmas and eggs, if we didn't come here, I didn't know that Easter was all about bunnies and eggs. And Christmas is all about a lot of shopping. Yes, we shop and we eat, but with the first thing on the 25th, when I was a little girl in Ghana, is you wear your best clothes and you go to church. The focus of Thanksgiving has been taken out, and it's all about commercialization. The turkeys are being sold. Yes, a lot are being donated as well, but people are, the full people are going to the grocery store, and it's just about food, 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 and gathering. We need to come back to the source. Why did we get this holiday? And although we're thanking God every day, the government of Canada has given us a day to actually pause, relax, and to remember all that we're grateful for. The bountiful harvest I talked about. It doesn't have to be farm produce. All the good things that have happened to us, even in the bad. When you got sick, you got better. When things were really, really bad, you came out of it. I mean, and it could have been worse. So we need to come back. Yes, we buy the turkey because that's what makes it. Bring the families together. This year, we couldn't do that because of the pandemic. Travel, get the people together. But as you sit at that table, if at all, I know conversations go on, some gossip may go on, some fights even break out with Uncle Joe being at the table and being drunk or something, you know. All kinds of things go on. But let's go back as we start the conversation. Let's go around the table and ask, what are you grateful for? You would be amazed even what children will be able to tell you, because sometimes you need to ask the question to get the person thinking. So you don't have to do it on that day if it's going to be busy and people have come from all over and you just want to celebrate. But even the weeks or the week before Thanksgiving, the night before, just like December 25th, we have 24th, right? We have Christmas Eve and we do all sort of things. Let's bring the gratitude back and really taking a deep breath and really think, count your blessings. Count your blessings, and I tell you, big and small, you will find a reason to be thankful and grateful to people around you, to people far and wide, and especially to God.
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Kofi, do you want to contribute on this as well, or you've already said that?
Yeah, I think she said it all.
Okay, so let me read some few comments that are on Facebook before we move on to our next person. Um, we are talking about the essence of Thanksgiving. That was a comment that came. Happy Thanksgiving to all our fellow Canadian families. Wow, this is a Thanksgiving day, and we are so grateful to God. Thanksgiving is all about gratitude. And there's also a comment that says, very interesting. Say, let's bring the gratitude back. We ought to be thankful. Wow. So these are some of the few comments that came up on Facebook. And if you're watching us once again, I would say share your thoughts, put your comments. Let's spread the message of the essence of Thanksgiving. So back to our question. As I was reflecting about the things that you were saying about all the Thanksgiving, why Christian we ought to celebrate Thanksgiving. The question that came in mind was, how can we as Christians, how can we outreach during Thanksgiving? Dr. Kofi.
Okay, good. You know, when I was a student, those days that we used to do size, student in church evangelism, where we travel, go to communities, and then try to do those outreach and tell people about the love of God. Now, one of the things that I learned in those process and even in my own school days was that sometimes the impact of the things we do so much outweighs whatever we say. Let me share this story. I lived in a room with with one of the students. Those of you who know Ken University was in the Republic Hall, and we were four in the room. And this guy, okay, let me mention his name. Maybe one day he would come here. He's called Derek. Now, Derek, I don't ever remember Derek telling us about God or preaching to anybody. He never did. But I can tell you, when Derek is in that room, nobody comes to the room to make noise. Nobody will say anything profane. Nobody will do anything nasty. Okay, his mere presence in that room was enough check on us. So when other people are coming from other room to make noise, you know the way the boys, the kind of noise we make when we're on campus. If anybody want to come to make some noise in the room, the first question they would ask is Derek around. If if he's there, you better not come, because even when you make the noise, you will not get your usual response. And this is a guy who never talked about God, but his mere presence, the kind of things he does. Derek is the guy who would go get some stuff, prepare food, and then call everybody, "Hey guys, food is ready," as if he's supposed to be feeding us. And then at the end, he became more or less like a model for all the rooms that were adjacent to our room. I believe that if we want to use Thanksgiving as a platform for outreach, okay, then it does not have to be that one day event. It has to be that regular exhibition of what our Christianity is. Okay, if people can tell how grateful you are for the very little things they do for you at your workplace, that is more than enough outreach. If people can come to you, okay, and have confidence in you and tell you stuff that they wouldn't tell anybody just to get your advice on that, I think that that level of Christian exhibition is where we should be aiming at, and that is the kind of outreach that we ought to be doing, where we do the evangelism, the Christian evangelism, with our attitude of gratitude, where we people kind of know us for our level of appreciation, how much grateful we are even for the little things, how much love we share. If people can associate love with us, if people can associate appreciation and thanksgiving, our banner of demonstrating what it takes to be a Christian. That is going to be the banner of showing people the way to Christ. Okay, when people begin to question and begin to ask you more about what it is that makes you calm, what it is that makes you always thanking people, then you know you're getting something right. Then you know that what you do actually affects people more. So in summary, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that the Thanksgiving should be an opportunity to to draw people to God, not only by the things we say, by the things we do, by the level of appreciation we show, by the love we demonstrate, and by all the little things that we do that go unnoticed. Sometimes we think they go unnoticed, but the people actually see them, and it is the kind of thing people would say in our absence, and that should be our testimony. That should be our platform.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Kobe. Sister Liz, comment.
Yes, I'll just add a little bit to what Doug said. He spoke about just being, letting the gratitude and the outreach be a daily thing, using your own life and behavior, which is great. And I support that fully as a Christian. Your life should say more, than what you say. Your life, your work, I mean, even just how you treat people, right? Because you can say you're a Christian and then you turn around and not treat people well. You turn around and insult people. So that is a given. However, using the day itself, for example, what we're doing, I am hopeful that even I had to, once I knew the topic of what we're going to talk about, I needed to, do a little bit of research into Canadian history and all that. My hope is that as, even the youth or a section of the church or an organization can outreach by putting on an event. It doesn't have to be the day, because this day I see as more of, even though we have a family day as well in February, it's more of people want to be with family. So really making it an event in the community, it won't help. There are sessions that pray. We're praying and we're thanking God. The youth could do something maybe before the day or leading to the day, right? So they could hold an outreach. They could donate, get money from us, the older ones, and
Come
donate
to you.
turkey.
Come to you.
Yes, and donate and make a donation. Go get a few, like 20 turkeys, 30. With time, we can find places that would give us the donation, and then we'll give it out. So you ask them, when you come to this event, you get one. We like to get things physically. And then while we're there, we start chatting, right, about God and about what God, and, what are you grateful for? And as they talk, people might even start to talk about, my mom passed away and I'm feeling this. And you guys are there, right, to be able to speak into their lives, and to, and those events alone could turn somebody around and bring somebody to God, to Christ. And so the day itself, a day or two, even a week leading, just like we do Black History Month and we do other things in the church, we could have that day of, a Thanksgiving event, not on the day off, but maybe leading to have something to outreach to the community.
Thank you. Thank you. So it's more of we pray to God, and also we put our prayer into action by reaching out
Mhm.
to people that need it the most. Wow, that was very
Yes.
powerful. So as we bring our section to kind of an end, I wish I never end this section, but today's a Thanksgiving Day. I know Sister Alex has said earlier on the turkey is ready to be consumed, so I don't want to take much of her time. And like I don't live far from you, so I'm definitely gonna be there to also have my portion. Dr. Kofi, I'm so sorry. It takes hours, so hey, that is too much for us to bring you turkey, okay? But I believe next time
Don't
we
don't
will
worry.
find a way.
Don't worry. He's made his own turkey. His beautiful wife has made his nice turkey for him.
So as we bring our section to a close, I want to hear from the two of you. The message, the message. What would be your concluding message to us as Christians, and also to us as Canadians as we observe Thanksgiving?
Doug, please go ahead.
Okay. All right. So let me say this, that whatever you do today, whether together as a family, whether you are alone by yourself, whatever you do today, show appreciation to God and the people in your life. It's so important. It doesn't matter whether you have turkey or you don't have. But if you do have turkey, maybe you should be grateful for the to the people who made that turkey available. So, they made your day look good. But whatever you do, make sure that before today runs out, you have said some special thank you to God, and you have been able to identify some few people. You don't have to call them, just send them WhatsApp, just send them text messages, and just to tell them that you appreciate the things, their contribution in your life. And I think that if you can do this thing, this one thing, on this special day of appreciation, of this special day that we're showing gratitude, I think that it would make this day more meaningful, not only to you, but to the people who are receiving it. Because you know what it does? It makes them have the desire even to do more, not only for you, but for other people. Because you see, the human beings, the way we are, we kind of glow when people appreciate us. Everybody want to be appreciated. And so once you are appreciating others, you are actually making other people benefit, because this person will go about even doing more for other people. So end today with a thank you note to somebody. That's what I would say.
Thank you. So, my sister Liz, over to you. Your
Yes, thanks,
concluding
Doc, because
remarks.
I'm taking your advice. And if and the few people that I haven't been able to call, when I'm done, hopefully I'll be able to call some and send some messages. Thank you so much. I will go back to my word, like I said, a broken record. Please bring gratitude back into Thanksgiving. What are you grateful for? What are you grateful for? Just look back and take stock. Count your blessings. You will find, trust me, you would find something to be thankful for. And whenever Thanksgiving comes, if you didn't know that before or you were not in tune with the reason for celebrating, it is for being gratitude, being grateful to the Almighty God and to everybody who has, impacted your life in a way, who has impacted your life in a positive way. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So on that note, I say thank you to everyone that joined us on Facebook and YouTube. We wish all of you a happy big Thanksgiving Day. Mostly also to our the Methodist family that God has given us. We wish all of us a happy Thanksgiving. Our wonderful guest, Sister Liz, God bless you for such a great insight.
Amen.
Dr. Kovi, I give a
Amen.
thumbs up. God bless you for even the time that you've allocated to spend with us to go through the important, the essence of us celebrating Thanksgiving as a nation and also celebrating Thanksgiving as Christians. Like all that I would say is God bless you. God bless you. We appreciate that. God bless
Amen.
you so much. God bless you
Amen.
and for your family. Anytime, anything that you have spent today, it is our prayer that God will replenish it in abundance. Anything,
Amen.
whatever be your heart desire, God will make it happen, and people will begin to ask question. Oh, what kind of blessing has come upon these people? It is the
Amen.
day that they dedicated to speak
Amen.
to us about Thanksgiving. We
Amen.
thank you all. We thank you all so much.
Amen.
Brother Charles Kofi, God bless you. And I wish you and your family a happy Thanksgiving, Brother Aubrey. And I wish you a happy Thanksgiving. And I also wish my dear husband, Brother Akwesi, a Thanksgiving. And God bless you. And I'm coming for my gift. So be ready for it. We thank everyone that joined us once again. We say God bless you and God bless you. Thank you all.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
Bye.
Happy
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Bye.